part two of this little trip that I had with the Uber driver. Um, we have come so far um, from what is right. And, the Bible talks about this. It talks about um, because iniquity will abound, the love of many will wax cold. It talks about the coming hatred for Christians and Christian persecution and all this. And the crazy thing, one of the things that really gets to me, it really, what's the word? Um, Overwhelms me is that people like this driver today in the first video that I told you about, like this Lyft driver today, he brought it up and he was offended that I'm a Christian and that I would probably be on the side of being pro-life. And we've become so far away from pro-life, from, sacrificial love, unconditional love. We've come so far away from forgiveness, from, being able to overcome things and pick ourselves back up. And then, I thought I was horrible at watching too much TV and watching too much YouTube and letting that control my thoughts and thinking that that's all there is, that what you see on the news is all there is. That's not the case. This guy today coming at me with making excuses right away, like he's a woman himself. So it's more important for him to feel what, and I call them whores. I'm sorry, folks, but any woman who would put everything before a child, forget about murder. If my neighbor knocked on my door right now, okay, and said that I'm in a situation, and I don't even know my neighbor, and he said, "Here, take my child," I'd have to take the child, because what's the situation that he's in that's dangerous for the child? And I'd hold on to that child. I'd probably call off work if I don't get enough sleep. Child don't sleep, I don't sleep, so I'm calling off work. I'm stuck with somebody's kid. Like, he had a situation and he wanted me to protect his child, so I can't come to work tonight, Um, where I come from, children are the future. Children are to succeed and exceed their parents. Children are the glory of their grandparents. When my daughter just her daughter just turned 5. I got pictures all around my house and in my wallet and in drawers of her baby pictures. She had a baby out of wedlock. And the boyfriend, hate to say it, is mentally ill. And he's not fit to be a father. And now that they're not together, he doesn't even come around. But they were having this problem when she had the baby. And I remember when this same daughter of mine couldn't stand kids. Kids used to get up under her skin. You know, she, you know, you know, when people would bring their small kids around her, she looked down at them kids like, you got 2 seconds before I get a knife and cut your throat. Like, she did not like kids. And my youngest daughter has not liked kids. But my daughter that just had her daughter, my granddaughter Janine, is 5 years old today. She is her mother's best friend. Her mother, I've never seen my daughter so happy. This is a child that didn't like kids. And my youngest daughter, when she looks across the table at my new grandbaby, her face lights up. These are two girls that did not like kids. And they was, when they were just small children. My stepkids, when they were little small children running around the house, and when, me and my ex, first divorced, and they were just teeny boppers, they were like pre-teens, 11, 10 years old, my stepkids couldn't get along with them. I had to go down there to my ex-wife's house and say, hey, keep your hands off my kids, man. Like, the whole family was fighting. These are the things that these so-called abortionists, these murderers of children, think that they're avoiding. But because iniquity will abound, the love of many will wax cold. And it says we'll be haters of everything. In the same chapter that talks about homosexuality and how it happens in this modern day time, it talks about because iniquity will abound, people will be haters of their own parents. Parents will be haters. Everybody is hating. There'll be people that are more in love with themselves, than human decency. It talks about how people will be selfish. And I'm going to say it again. Only a woman can have a baby. And you saying stuff like, my body, my choice. That's like saying Black Lives Matter. Okay, Black Lives Matter, but when little kids get shot in the so-called black communities, ain't no black folks marching. Ain't no black folks, trying to be a hero. The only thing they care about is don't shoot the thugs. They don't care if you shoot me. They just don't want you shooting the thugs. They don't care if you shoot me. They just don't want you shooting the thugs. They want, Black America wants respect, and they want you to baby and have all this mercy on thugs that when they walked into your store and robbed you at gunpoint, they didn't have no mercy on you. When they walked in your house and raped you at gunpoint, they didn't have no mercy on you. Whatever crime that they did that caused them to pull over and run and get out of the car and run before they got shot, they didn't have no mercy on that person that they struck or shot or stole from or raped or whatever. But don't kill thugs. We black. We black. We thuggin'. Our choice. We black. Our problem. Our choice. Don't shoot us. We don't care about the rest of America. Just don't shoot us. Then you got these dumb behind white folks getting out there trying to, because they chicken and they scared, they trying to get out there and, you know, pretend that they care by getting out, going outside and marching and protesting. Okay? But oh boy, I'm not invited over to the house, am I? Oh, you didn't, you on your day off, you didn't invite no black folks. The only reason why you out there acting a fool is because of that insane person that you voted for. And because you think that if you keep feeding these black folks these ghetto carrots like they ghetto rabbits, okay, you think that it'll change things. But when you get shot, they don't march for you, do they, white folks? When you get shot, they don't march for you. When you get shot, they don't march for you. When you get discriminated against, they don't march for you. They don't protest for you. Even when you thugging, they laugh. They think it's funny. Not all, but the ones I'm talking about. You know who you are. Dude walked onto my job yesterday with a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on. God, I had to, don't say nothing. I started to ask him, you in a protest today, you marching, like, who cares? Like you don't think anybody here believes that Black Lives Matter, dude? How'd you get this goddamn job if Black lives don't matter? Do you know how many people complain about you and they ain't fired you yet? Why are you wearing that stupid retarded t-shirt? That's enough black folks, okay? But abortion is the same way. Oh. You got these women out there that have husbands. And they ain't as dumb as these white folks out there supporting BLM and all these thugs getting shot, okay? They got shot so I wouldn't have to shoot them, okay? They got shot so I wouldn't have to shoot them, okay? Because if the cops don't shoot them, that means they're going to come over here and I got to shoot them, okay? But you got these people out there justifying this abortion that wouldn't be caught dead practicing abortion. But they think that without knowing, like this Lyft driver. Obviously, there's something more going on there than him just thinking that a woman has a right, you know, I mean, he dated two women who got abortions. Now, I take it that he got them pregnant and they got an abortion, or I take it that they got an abortion because he was a failure and they didn't want to have a baby in his name. Okay? They didn't want him being a father, or they didn't want to have a baby after sleeping with him, or whatever, however that went down. But this dude was angry real fast. The minute I had to remind him who he was talking to, I let him know I'm COG, man, without coming out and saying it. I had to let him know I'm COG, man. I am a Christian. Okay? You know, since you're on the subject, I hope you don't mind, but I really don't feel that there's good excuses for abortion. There's not a bunch of women who had incest with their uncle, fighting and crying and going crazy over abortion. 9 out of 10, they didn't. It's usually them that have the baby. Same thing with these women that got raped. I know women that got raped. Do we need Medea to teach you everything? Don't you watch enough Medea? Medea debunked abortion in her comedy called Big Happy Family or Big Family Reunion or whatever it was, when Little Bow Wow, the part that he played in the film, found out that this angry black woman who just don't care about nothing was the rape victim, was his rape victim mother, who was raped by her own uncle. Way too late for an abortion now. The family decided to raise the child. The only problem is they lied about who his father and his mother was. Now, me, the best thing to do would have been give the child up for an adoption. You know, send the child away, send him somewhere where somebody's going to take good care of him, put him in a school, put him in, and then, these people come there, they show love for him, and that his mama come around, Medea come around, grandma come around, all the different people come around, reach out to this child, and as the child gets older, he will be able to understand why his mom did not want to tell him she is his mom. And it will be their secret when he's old enough to receive it. But there is no reason. Go to the prison and see some of these people that are on death row. See some of these people that have been crackheads all their lives, then murdered and raped people and all like that. Never had a decent life. Ask them. Do you feel your parents should have aborted you? Ask them. Do you feel your parents should have aborted you? Mike Tyson said something crazy. He said the best thing that ever happened to him was prison, because he learned a lot in prison. I don't think he was in there that long. That's what happens with celebrities. But he was in there for a little bit. And I don't know if that was before he started boxing or somewhere in the middle. But he said the best thing that ever happened to him was prison, because he learned a lot in prison. Did his mama know that he was going to be eating ears off of people? Did his mama know that he was going to cheat in the ring and hurt people and do whatever it took to win? Did his mama know that he was going to have a violent history? No, it's not none of your business. Your job is to bring human life into the planet if you so happen to find yourself pregnant. If you so happen to find yourself pregnant, your job is to bring human life into the planet. Even this Uber driver, that's the smartest thing he said out of everything. Oh, you don't think if I want to really have kids, I can go adopt children? Okay, you didn't have 2 women that you got pregnant. And now you're on this thing where, like, dude, obviously you don't want kids. And you probably were in on it, in on the murdering of these babies. You're probably in on it. Okay? You probably agreed to it, or you probably said something that made them feel like they better do it, because you ain't going to be there. Okay? But then you want to tell me that if you want to have a kid, you're going to adopt a kid. But if you get a woman pregnant, she can't have that kid for you because it's her body, her choice. You'll just, when you finally are able, and you don't seem like you're getting to that place anytime soon, when you are finally able to love somebody, you'll adopt a child. If y'all want to have a child that bad, I guess, in your old age, because right now you're so liberal you don't know where you're going. We've become so liberal that we don't know where we are going. We don't know where we are going. We don't know. We become so liberal, we don't know our butt from our testicles. We don't know, okay, our hands from our mouths. We've become so liberal, we don't know the difference between love and murder. We don't care about sacrifice anymore. We don't care about being my brother's keeper. You know, I'm my brother's keeper if I'm able to be. If I'm able to be my brother's keeper, therefore I am my brother's keeper. Somebody asked me to move somebody in with me that's homeless not too long ago, and I'm like, please. But I said, where is he? What's his phone number? How do I get in touch with him? You know, because I can't just leave him out there to be homeless, okay? I know the guy. I can't leave him out there like that. And when they told me that he moved back into his mama's house, even though he ain't got no electricity, I'm thinking, that's better than staying with me, okay? But he'll get on his feet because he wants to be independent now that his mom is gone. He wants to be independent, but he's going to have to be. He's going to have to do what he got to do to survive, but that's better than him staying with me. I got nothing for him here, but if I had to, I would, and that's what I told my cousin. If I had to, I would. I'm glad I don't have to. At the last resort, I would. But if you get pregnant, Having the baby is the first and the last resort. Abortion is murder. Okay? And they done went from aborting the embryo or the fetus or the egg before it's completely, when it first starts to produce, any sign of pregnancy. They done went from that to what they call pre-birth abortion, or 6 month, 9 month abortion, or what is it? Like, you can have an abortion when this child is ready to come out. And you can have an abortion the minute you hear a heartbeat. The minute you get diagnosed as pregnant, you have a human being growing inside of you. You can get an abortion. Don't tell me this is not murder, because it is murder. And that's what abortion is. It's murder. And I really didn't even start to pay attention to it. As many times as I've been to church and they preached a sermon out of the Bible, and as many times as I've been to church and they, somebody came up there and gave their testimony about how horrible they felt because of abortion, and then somebody else came up and they showed how their child was doing. They showed you pictures, or they showed you a film, or they showed you the child. They brought the child up in front of everybody and showed you. This is what I'm glad that God did not allow me to abort. But I really feel bad for the people that are this liberal. I really feel bad for the people that hate this much, that are so selfish this much. I don't get it. God understands. God understands. According to Romans, the first chapter, God understands because He gave y'all over. He gave y'all over to this reprobateness, where you can't even think, where you don't think that abortion is murdering a child. And again, I'm going to say it. It's lack of responsibility on your part. I think that this is what I believe. If you're the kind of person that would murder a child or practice abortion, you shouldn't have sex. Remember that? Remember them women talking about, we're going to go on a sex strike? Yeah. Yeah, you need to go on a sex strike. You really do. You need to go on a sex strike. Not because you're doing any damage to men. Because the men, like this Uber driver, really don't care if you get an abortion. That's just taking away the responsibility out of their hands. But instead of killing unborn children, why don't you just stop having sex? Because you're not going to bore me and make me laugh by talking about rape and incest. Those are real issues. But some of the best kids that are, in your political party, some of the best kids that are graduating college with PhDs, more than one of them, with masters, went back to college to teach. Some of the most bravest people in the world, some of the most artistic people in the world, some of the most creative people in the world, some of the most strongest, loving, and caring people in the world. They got here through incest, they got here through rape. They got here, like me, when they were supposed to die at birth. And just like my grandbaby, and her mother, I too was an only child because I had a brother and a sister. If they had not miscarried, if she had not miscarried, I would have had a brother and sister. But I'm an only child, just like my grandbaby is an only child. My stepdaughter has 4 kids that drive her crazy. By the time she's trying to show love to one, she's about to slap one and slap the one she's trying to love, and then here come the other two. Forget it. Let's just slap everybody, and I'm going to bed. I mean, I understand what it feels like when kids got rivals and they are competing and fighting for your attention. I've been there. I know that. But me and my grandbaby Deneen, we're only children. Okay? So that means that my mom was my best friend in the whole wide world. And my Rachel, her and her daughter are best friends in the whole wide world. Because why? You only got one kid to worry about. Okay? But that's still all in the nature of God. And there's a lot you can learn spiritually from having several children. And there's a lot you can learn spiritually by having one child. Okay? Pregnancy is about your opportunity, regardless of how you got pregnant. Pregnancy is about your opportunity to, number one, bring human life into the planet. Pregnancy, number two, is your chance to be a parent, to raise a son, not to be like the men that you hate. To raise a daughter to survive and escape what you had to go through, the very thing that might have brought her into this world. That's what pregnancy is. But abortion is killing innocent children. The child didn't rape you. The child don't know nothing about incest. This is just as bad as these LGBTQs going into schools, grooming our kids to make sure our kids are pro-LGBTQ before they have a choice to do anything else. They just cutting that off, in the bud immediately. It's not working out very good. Because a lot of these kids that are being taught this garbage are just becoming hateful towards their parents. Watch YouTube. It's on YouTube. They're becoming hateful to their parents. They don't really like their parents. They don't really like their teachers. Therefore, they don't like society. They'll probably end up getting an AR-15, okay, the next time, or in the next few years when we're up to fight against, restricting guns again. There'll probably be one of these kids that'll go into a school and just shoot them up. Because them growing up in a predicament that they shouldn't have had to grow up in. They'll probably the females, will probably abort your kids as well. Okay? Growing up in that kind of predicament. But I'm going to say it again. Pregnancy is about opportunity. Opportunity to bring new life into the human race. And it's your opportunity to be a parent and take everything you disagree with and everything that you're educated about and everything that you know is good and right and raise a human being to be your work of art. Raise that child to be the best thing you never ever had. Be the best of you, the better of you, the better of his or her father. We don't think like that no more. What happened to us? We don't think like that no more. I've seen kids that were, molested. They were kids themselves. They had their babies. And their mothers and their fathers helped them raise their child at a very young age. Oh, sure, there's reasons to hate the fact. I'm not knocking at people. There's reasons, to hate the idea. Oh my God, there's reasons to hate the idea of being a mother, of raising a child, in the predicament that you're in and what you got to offer. Oh yeah, you should be greatly afraid to have a child. But there's still no excuse for abortion. There's still no excuse. Let's get real. There's still no excuse to murder anybody, especially a child. And it's not your body. It's not your choice. Because you got something growing inside of you that pretty soon will be able, if you leave him alone and don't murder him or her, he'll be able to make his own choices. She'll be able to make her own choices. And it's not your body. It's not your choice. You selfish, I just want to cuss. You selfish women of Heth. There's my cuss word. Of Heth. You selfish women of Moab. You selfish Jezebel women. There is no excuse for you to ever murder a child. It's not your body. It's not your choice, but it's the child's choice, and it is the husband or boyfriend. I don't care if he's your pimp. That child might deliver him from being a pimp. I've seen it happen. That child might make him want to settle down with somebody and actually care about something. Me and my wife, the whole time I was married, we did not get along. But our precious memories are within our children. And I always will appreciate her because she is the mother of my two lovely daughters. And every time, I told a story one time on Mother's Day. It should have been for an abortion sermon, but I talked about it on Mother's Day. No, Father's Day. I did a Father's Day. I might even have it on YouTube on my channel, on this channel. Way back when I started this channel. But I did a sermon one day on fathers for Father's Day many years ago. That had to be back in 2014, 2013, somewhere past there. Okay, if I was on YouTube at that time, but I know it was recorded. I might look up that recording and share it. But if it's not already here, but I preached a sermon about fathers, and I talked about how my daughter Rachel, when she was born, I was scared to death. And I was like, what is this going to cost me financially? What's it going to cost us? What does this mean? I'm stuck in the house with a baby now. What's this mean? What is going to happen? Okay? And when I looked into that child's eyes, number one, that changed everything. When that child came out safe and sound, and I looked in her eyes, that changed everything. When all my friends and my pastor and everybody at church, they threw parties and showers for us, and they were so glad. People at work that I didn't even get along with said, "Oh, you having a new baby? You got any pictures? Congratulations, man." For the rest of the time I worked there, they treated me differently. And every day they told me, "Hey man, I'm gonna let you get in front of me, man. You go to lunch first, man. Hey man, you get in line, punch in first. You punch out first, man. Cause I know, man, you a busy man. You got children to deal with. You got a new baby to deal with." And my wife too at that time. The support that we got. Because people understood that we could have aborted this baby. They understood that, you know what I'm saying, we wasn't exactly, a Trump family. Okay? And we wasn't a Biden family either. We didn't really have much to offer our children except Jesus. And except the fact that we were saved from a horrible lifestyle, and now we're Christians, and so these children have a chance to be something decent, okay? And now here, my daughter, who she was the most touchiest person you ever want to meet, but her daughter, which she got out of wedlock, like the rest of y'all, is her best friend in the whole wide world. Just like I used to look in her eyes when she was little, my daughter looks in my grandbaby's eyes. And she knows. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus. And she's not a Christian. I think she's contemplating atheism. But it doesn't take a Christian. It doesn't take fundamentalism like this guy accused me of. I'm not even sure what that is. I don't even go to church. I'm a fundamental, But he said, "I fundamentally disagree with you." This is the Uber driver last night. But it doesn't take a Christian. It doesn't take fundamentals. All it takes is, and I'm going to say this in closing, being a parent is good for any woman. Even a woman that's doing good without being a parent. She's a good wife. But being a parent will always instill something in you that was not there. We don't put, this is why abortion is being practiced. Because we don't put husbands and wives on the pedestals that we used to put them on. We don't put mothers and fathers on a pedestal as they used to be. Matter of fact, I've heard enough YouTube about, mothers wanting to take the credit for Father's Day. When they have their day and the father has his. But mothers are saying, no, Father's Day belongs to us. We should celebrate Father's Day, but men don't get to celebrate Mother's Day. And just like about abortion, a man doesn't get to decide that he doesn't want to have the baby. Her, again, it's the flip also. It's her body, her choice. If she wants to have this baby and charge him child support, you see the hypocrisy here. She can do it. And I know women out there, excuse me, black women of the ghetto, I have to say this. I know plenty of women out there that are having babies for the sake of financial gain and for the sake of ruining men and bringing men down from what they think is their high position or their high tower. Okay? The thing is, I still don't recommend you abort the child. The best thing for that child is to grow out of his parents when he's able to. Or the best thing for that child, again, is adoption. But there's never a reason to kill a child. Never a reason to kill a child. Stop lying to yourselves and saying that it's not murder, because it is, and you know it is. Stop lying to yourself and making excuses. And then we wonder why we all have to stand before God. I didn't even really realize just how pathetic all this is until this whole Roe versus Wade thing blew up on us all. I didn't know. I didn't know that this many women, first of all, are practicing abortion. And I did not know the idiotic excuses that even men are making about it. Give me a break. You have no excuse. You have no excuse. Abortion is still the issue of murdering children. One more time. And it's not your right. It's not just your right, just your body. Your choice. It's the choice of 3 of y'all. The baby always wants to live. Even if he's going to be born with no legs. If he's breathing, he wants to live. That's just, maybe he won't want to live once he comes out. But while he's in there, he wants to live. So murdering him when he don't know what's going on, or her, it's just wrong. It's just plain, simple slaughter. It's murder. Because the child has no clue what's going on. Child didn't rape you. Child didn't tell you to hook up with this dude. Child didn't know this dude was going to slap you around and do all these bad things to you. Child didn't know you was going to be a prostitute. Child didn't know that you was going to be a lesbian. Child didn't know that you was going to put yourself in a situation where he or she would be in the way. All the child knew was like, I'm breathing. I wonder what's on the other side of this bubble. I fight for the child. I don't fight for the women, because the women deserve to stand before God and be judged in a very, very, very crucial way. I stand for the men who are anti-abortion, and I stand for the child that's obviously he has no choice but to be anti-abortion, because ain't nobody getting killed but him. So if it's your body, your choice, how come when you decided to practice abortion, how come you didn't die? How come it wasn't suicide, being it's your body, your choice? You get to kill this little thing, okay? Okay, and you might have a little wee tiny bit of medical complications behind it, but then you get to go out there and prostitute, be a lesbian, be bisexual, be a whore, be whatever you want to be. Have great sex so you can get pregnant and kill another one. and have no responsibility over what you're doing. And then when responsibility meets pregnancy and you didn't want to be pregnant, but you weren't responsible about sex, obviously, you're going to kill the baby. And any man that would say, hey, um, whether you love me or not, don't kill the baby, I'll take care of the baby. And I know, don't get me wrong, ladies, I know a lot of men ain't gonna say that. Even some of the most Christian of us ain't gonna say that. We get a woman pregnant, but they're not gonna take care of that baby by themselves like a woman would. But when me and my wife broke up, I raised my kids by myself. Okay, so, and I know some fathers out there were very minimum, were a remnant, but there's a remnant of men out there that are taking care of these kids by themselves. You don't know until you have a baby whether a man, what a man's going to do. Because a lot of men, they could be the most coldest, hardest, scar-faced Hitler you ever want to meet until you say, I'm pregnant. And I think I'm going to have this baby. You'd be surprised. That'll turn a man from a lion to a lamb. That'll turn a man from a wimp punk to a soldier. And I've seen it happen. I see it happen every day. God bless you. I am DeRoy Cruz. I am your life applications officer. This was long. I thought it would be short, but when you're dealing with murder and calling it your right, your body, your choice, when it's no, it's murder. And you're being selfish because there's 3 of you, not just you. What do you expect? 50 minutes, 51, 55, an hour, 2 hours ain't long enough to talk about this. Because we need to talk about this until you, and to prevent you from committing another murder, from committing another crime, from making them flames of hell hotter than what they were originally going to be. Okay? Thank you for watching. Share, like, dislike, leave a comment. Talk about what I'm talking about, or don't talk at all. God bless you.